Fellow Guyanese, a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you in Georgetown, Guyana, and elsewhere. There are so many things to talk about that you don't know which side to turn to. Because Guyana is a complex affair. It's a country where English have lost their grounds, and only few people can understand it properly. And yes, many times we use words without understanding the proper explanation. And therefore, I have to congratulate the government or whoever calling on people to come to learn English in some school in Guyana right now. That's a plus. But before I start, let me make this clear. I want you to subscribe to my channel and touch the button, the bell, so you will get my update video. What brings me here today? I am following the story of the WPA activist, a member of the WPA party, 71 years of age. Ladies and gentlemen, in Guyana, it seems like we only use the language English when we want to lock up people, get rid of them, or deny them their human rights. Why am I saying that? First, to begin with, before I touch that, let me touch the military story first, because this story that I'm about to talk about was created from that, originated from that. According to Facebook, some of the GDF officer at Etimbang or whatever bang claim a few days or weeks ago they were attacked by the Venezuelan soldiers or whoever, gunboat or whoever, shooting at them while they were transporting fuel into the area. And I spoke about it on the video that will be released in a few minutes. And you will see for yourself. And then the soldiers complained the government said nothing about it or do nothing about it. Well, if you are the government for the people, by the people, guarded by the military, the police and others, and if it is true what they say and you did not act on behalf of representing them and the country, then personally, I don't think you need to worry about a job. And maybe that was the incident that led the WPA activists to use the English language in such a way that today he might be in prison awaiting bail or trial. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not proud or happy about no one who called to overthrow a legal government that was elected by the people under no circumstances. There's a way to do it. Go to the ballot box on the day of voting, vote them out. Or don't go at all to show that you are not satisfied with the workmanship in which they are producing. If you're a boss and you hire somebody to do your accountant and you're losing, get rid of the accountant. If you have a bank and certain things are happening, get rid of the manager of the bank. If you have a security guard in your house but thief man still entering and he don't see, he don't know nothing or she, get rid of the security because you don't need them. Mind dogs, mind guinea birds. They might alert you faster. So, I wanted to know what is a treasonable charge in Guyana. When we live to see that politicians all the way through are doing a lot of wrong things and nothing is been happening to them on both sides of the fence. And I'm not lying. I could pull up 101 things some from Babu Jan, what some of the speakers say, some from the other side of what they were saying, and I can also pull up some more to show you that both sides have used the English language and words that could put the country into a major problem. And therefore, we have to work upon our speech and how we talk to the nation. As I can recall, our president went to the UN, Mr. Ali, and he addressed everybody, the international community, where he spoke about the Atlantic slave trade and he called for reparation. But Mr. Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, you go to the UN to speak about reparation for the African descendant who their ancestor was brought to the shore of the Americas and elsewhere in slavery. But the East Indian descendant was cheap labor, a cycle of slavery also. Even in Uganda. And they all was driven out by Idi Amin. And Burma, they have been driven out right now and been killed, raped, and fired. South Africa and many other places. And Mugabe country, former Rhodesia, the late Mugabe drove every European out of his country. Why am I telling you this? You cannot address the international community, the whole world power, telling them about the filth that you're smelling while you have filth thrown into the Amerindian face. Maybe that's a reasonable charge for me too, Mr. Ali. I said it in the way. You can't come to another country to repair what happened 200 years, 300 years ago, but cannot fix what is happening right now in Georgetown, Guyana. I quite agree that under the Burnham government is a lot of wrong things happened to the other race except the black. Until the late Walter Rodney came, stand up against him, and both party leaders come together and get rid of him. Because Dr. Jagger make it clear when he couldn't get into the PCD, People's Coalition for Democracy, he said if he can't be leader, he didn't join politics to take back seat. But when they store the food at Gimpex in Regent Street or Raff Street, whatever, I think it's Regent Street, he went away out of the country when that food was to go to Mackenzie for the bauxite workers. And the police and the army, I think, went and moved all the food from the Gimpex. How many times will we sit down and allow politicians to lie? I know you, India, will not forget what happened in the 60s. And you will not forget what happened under the Burnham government. You cannot blame America for what happened. They had a right to protect this backyard from the Cold War, communism, socialism. Learn from Chile, learn from Guatemala, Honduras, learn from Ecuador, El Salvador, and learn from what happened just next door, Venezuela. Not forgetting Bolivia. Friends, we are too corrupt and confusing. The GDF claim whatever happened, and all the barrels were shoot up, the oil go into the river or the ocean. They had to jump overboard. But I still have question about it. If those things are true, then the Guyana government should have answered it's an international crime against a sovereign nation. It could have sparked a war between the two nations. But if the military and others are lying, it would be unnecessary to put nation against nation to enter a war without it happening, but say it happened. Why am I saying that? I'm not blaming nobody. How I hear it, that's how I will give it to you. If you was carrying petroleum, kerosene, especially gasoline and crude oil, and I forgot the other one name right now because See? And a gun bullet hit the barrel, there would have been an explosion. Could it be, I'm not accusing the military, since knowing our police make charge in the corner and take bribe and throw away people record, and Ramjatan, who joined with AFC and Farm APNU, told me his investigator said my son played guilty when he was never, and the police of Providence, we have all their name, hide the video and threaten his workers. Is that right, Mr. Ali? But we mustn't talk. We must shut up. And when Indians like yourself are fighting for land, blocking road and said they buy it, and nothing come out of it from the NDC at Craig with Mr. Mohan Lal, and how he buy the land that belonged to a relative of mine that they call Money Man. Is the NDC put that on the official gazette before it was sold to him? It's a lot of unanswered question. But God will be the rightful judge. What am I saying is this. If the military is right, then the government should have been intervening into the matter immediately. Because Guyana is a sovereign nation and our people don't have a right to be targeted. Now the WPA activists, counter information, had a meeting in Buxton. Well, Buxton is known for stopping the cars of the Indian and the minibus. When there's an election thing, take out the Indian, beat them, rob them, and do what they have to do. Like what happened in Enmore, where plenty of APNU supporters was beaten that belonged to the AFC. And I hear Ramjatan criticize it, nor Nagamutu. There were Indians, plenty belonged to the AFC. But forgive me, Ramjatan and Nagamutu, if you have condemned it, my apology. But I'm not aware of it. I didn't see no news in it, unless somebody hiding the truth. But coming to the GDF story, and the activists that give the lecture to the army, y'all are suffering and you're complaining. Could it be he was talking about that guy, say the army who said the whole thing was shoot up by gunmen and they had gone to, and the man just used a word, turned the gun into the right direction? He didn't say the president, he didn't say parliament, he didn't say the country. Could it mean that he had stated after listening to what the military stated happened to them, and they have guns? Could it be he was talking, you the military and others are complaining and suffering, turn the gun to the right direction? Could it be that incident he was talking about, that they did not shoot back? Maybe they would have died. I'm asking a question, Mr. Ali, because I still want to know the English language. I don't want to hear Hamna Jani Kuch Nahi Hai. That's not India. And I want you all to know, in India, the Indian minister, prime minister, your family owning everything. And it looked like it's the same pattern in Guyana. Family and friends and supporters are getting a chunk out of something. Why it have to be like that, like the African nation? Why? Guyanese had to flee Guyana. Women and men suffer because of the Burnham regime. Indians and other races. Many were raped and shut them out. But there is a God. Nothing will last forever. And every crime was committed by the ministers them and the police, that you are the black police who be paid a judge and magistrate because you're afraid of your job to lock up innocent people because of political activism against for humanity. Y'all would have killed Jesus and Muhammad and maybe Krishna in one. I call upon you all to stop it and let the government look into that statement properly before you railroad an innocent man for a crime that he really didn't commit when he says, turn the gun into the right direction. Could it be he was talking about the Venezuelan? Or maybe the Surinamese was doing it to New Republic. Could it be he was talking about them? He did say turn it to George Correa and Tony Snow. Did he? Or to any government ministers? No. I think this is political nonsense. So I call upon you, Mr. Imran Ali, in the month of Ramadan, don't be misled. Look into the matter carefully and let this matter go. Unite the people. You're doing a lot of good, but they cannot see it. May Allah be with you and everything. Peace and good luck. Let's work together for Guyana. Amen.